The story opens in a bustling upscale restaurant, a place where the city's affluent gather to enjoy an elegant dining experience. Among the diligent staff is Emily, a young waitress working hard to save for her college education. On this particular evening, she encounters a customer named Madison, a wealthy tourist whose demeanor is as sharp as her expensive attire. When Emily accidentally steps on the hem of Madison's luxurious dress, Madison's outrage is immediate and palpable. Her voice cuts through the ambient chatter like a knife, drawing the attention of diners around them. Emily apologizes quickly, her sincerity evident, but Madison's response is cold and dismissive. "This dress is worth more than your future," Madison sneers, her eyes reflecting disdain. The insult hangs heavily in the air, and the surrounding diners watch in awkward silence, their curiosity piqued by the unfolding drama. Before Emily can fully process the situation, Madison delivers a stinging slap. Her anger boiling over, the sound echoes through the restaurant, silencing the laughter and conversations at other tables. Yet, despite the humiliation, Emily stands firm, refusing to let Madison's words and actions define her. The tension crackles like electricity, drawing the attention of everyone present. In the hushed aftermath, if you believe respect should be universal, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to experience more stories like this. Emily Thompson is a young woman in her mid-20s who has always been determined to carve out a successful future for herself. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, she learned the value of hard work from an early age. For the past few months, Emily has been working at an upscale restaurant in the heart of the city, a place known for its exquisite dining experience and clientele that includes influential business people, couples celebrating special occasions, and tourists eager to indulge in luxury. Despite the demanding nature of her job, Emily embraces her role as a waitress with pride. Each shift represents an opportunity for her to earn money and save for her college education. She dreams of one day becoming a successful entrepreneur and knows that every dollar counts toward her goal. The restaurant serves not only as her workplace but as a stepping stone toward a brighter future, a place where she can prove her worth and build her career. Emily's warm smile and genuine demeanor have made her a favorite among regular customers. She approaches each table with a sense of purpose, always eager to provide the best service possible. As she navigates through the bustling dining area, she is surrounded by the sounds of clinking glasses, laughter, and the rich aroma of gourmet dishes being served. The ambiance is vibrant, filled with the energy of patrons enjoying their meals and celebrating life's moments. However, tonight feels different. As she moves through the restaurant, she senses an undercurrent of tension brewing, particularly at the table where Madison and her friends are seated. Madison embodies the type of customer Emily often encounters, wealthy, entitled, and seemingly unaware of the impact her words and actions can have on those around her. The table is adorned with an array of expensive wines, and the laughter shared among Madison and her friends contrasts sharply with the discomfort Emily feels in their presence. When Emily approaches Madison to take their order, she is met with an icy glare that sends a shiver down her spine. Madison's friends, dressed in designer outfits, seem to be enjoying the spectacle of their friend's disdainful attitude. Emily takes a deep breath, reminding herself to maintain her composure, as she has done countless times before. As she serves the drinks, Madison's tone shifts from polite to condescending, making it clear that she views Emily not as a fellow human being but as someone beneath her. "Is this what you call service?" Madison sneers, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I've been waiting for ages. Do you even know how to do your job?" The words sting, and Emily feels the heat rise in her cheeks, but she knows she must remain professional. With a practiced smile, she replies, "I apologize for any delay, ma'am. I'll make sure to check on your order right away." The tension escalates as Madison continues to nitpick every minor detail, her voice rising in volume, drawing more attention from other diners. Emily's heart races, and she feels the weight of their gazes upon her. She can see the confusion and discomfort on the faces of nearby guests, some of whom exchange glances, sharing unspoken sentiments about the unjust treatment unfolding before them. Among them is a man named Jason, who has been quietly observing the exchange. He's a tourist, but is not oblivious to the dynamics at play. He can sense the palpable disrespect emanating from Madison. Seeing how Madison treats Emily ignites a spark of discomfort in Jason. He is not one to stand by while someone is mistreated. Gathering his courage, he leans over to Madison's table and speaks up. "Excuse me, but there's no need to speak to her like that. She's just doing her job." His voice is calm yet firm, hoping to diffuse the situation without escalating it further. Madison, taken aback by the interruption, narrows her eyes at Jason. "Mind your own business. I can treat her however I want," she snaps, her tone sharp and dismissive. The tension in the room thickens, and Jason's heart races as he realizes the hostility he has just invited. In the background, other diners begin to murmur among themselves, some expressing their disapproval of Madison's behavior. A woman sitting with her children, Sarah, watches with a worried expression. She leans down to her kids and whispers, "You see how important it is to treat everyone with respect, no matter who they are." Her children nod, absorbing the lesson as they witness the unfolding drama. As Emily continues to serve the table, Madison's impatience grows, and she lashes out with increasingly rude remarks. "You should be grateful to even be here, serving us," she sneers, her eyes flashing with entitlement. Each comment is a jab, and Emily feels her patience wearing thin. Despite her efforts to stay composed, she can't shake the feeling of being belittled in front of everyone. The cycle of disrespect continues until Emily accidentally steps on the hem of Madison's expensive dress while clearing away empty glasses. The sound of tearing fabric is unmistakable, and Madison's furious shriek pierces through the restaurant. "You stepped on my dress," she yells, outrage spilling from her lips. The atmosphere shifts dramatically, turning from casual dining to a tense standoff. Emily's heart sinks as she instinctively apologizes, but Madison's anger only escalates. The surrounding diners watch in disbelief, their eyes wide as they anticipate the next move. In this charged environment, Emily is faced with a decision that will change everything. Will she continue to endure the humiliation, or will she find the courage to stand up for herself? The weight of the moment hangs in the air, setting the stage for a confrontation that none of them will forget. As the tension thickens, if you believe in standing up for what's right, share your thoughts below and consider subscribing to Change Weavers for more inspiring stories. As the atmosphere in the restaurant shifts following Madison's outburst, Emily feels the weight of the world on her shoulders. The patrons who had been enjoying their meals now sit in a heavy silence, their eyes darting back and forth between the two women. Emily's cheeks burn with humiliation, but she knows she must maintain her composure. She glances around the room, catching the concerned expressions of several diners, including Jason, who is still watching intently from his table. Madison's fury is palpable as she stands, her anger radiating off her like heat waves. "You have no idea who you're dealing with," she snaps, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. The tension rises, thickening the air as she glares down at Emily, who remains rooted to the spot. Emily feels a knot form in her stomach, but she fights to keep her demeanor professional. I'm really sorry about the dress, ma'am," Emily stammers, her heart racing. "It was an accident." But Madison isn't interested in apologies. Instead, she seizes the moment to further belittle Emily, her friends giggling behind her, enjoying the spectacle. "An accident? You should be more careful. I pay good money for this experience, and I expect to be treated with respect." Madison's voice cuts through the restaurant, and the laughter from other tables fades into an uneasy silence. Emily's hands tremble slightly as she gathers the empty glasses on Madison's table, trying to avoid any further mishaps. As Madison continues her tirade, Jason feels a surge of indignation. He can't just sit back and watch this unfold. With determination, he rises from his table and approaches Madison's group. "Excuse me," he says, his voice steady but firm. "There's no need to treat her that way. She's just doing her job, and the way you're speaking to her is unacceptable." Madison turns her gaze to Jason, surprise flickering in her eyes. "And who are you to tell me how to speak to her?" she retorts, her tone dripping with disdain. Her friends look on, some smirking, while others seem uncomfortable with the confrontation. The eyes of nearby diners are glued to the exchange, and Emily feels a mix of gratitude and apprehension. She appreciates Jason's intervention, but fears it might escalate the situation further. The tension thickens, and Emily can feel her heart pounding in her chest. She glances at Jason, who stands his ground, unflinching in the face of Madison's scorn. "I'm just someone who believes that everyone deserves respect, regardless of their job," he replies, his voice calm yet assertive. "You can express your dissatisfaction without being cruel." Madison's face flushes with anger and she huffs, crossing her arms. "Mind your business or you'll regret it," she warns, her eyes narrowing. The threat lingers in the air, and Emily's stomach churns as she contemplates the potential repercussions of this confrontation. Meanwhile, at a nearby table, Sarah, the mother who had been observing the entire ordeal, whispers to her children, "It's important to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard," she explains, her eyes fixed on Emily. Her children watch, wide-eyed, as they take in the lesson unfolding before them. The tension in the room grows and several onlookers exchange worried glances. As Emily attempts to continue her work, Madison's hostility escalates. "You know, you should be grateful to even be here serving people like me," she sneers, her tone dripping with arrogance. "You don't belong in this place." The words cut deep, and for a moment, Emily feels the sting of self-doubt creeping in. But something shifts within her. She remembers her dreams, her goals, and the hard work she has put into getting where she is. With a deep breath, she straightens her posture and meets Madison's gaze. "I may be a waitress, but I'm proud of my work and the person I am," she responds, her voice steady. "I deserve to be treated with respect, just like anyone else." The room falls silent, the tension palpable as guests process Emily's boldness. Madison's eyes widen in surprise, and for a brief moment, her confidence falters. The laughter and chatter at other tables have ceased, and all eyes are now on the two women engaged in this high-stakes standoff. Feeling the weight of the moment, Jason watches, hopeful that Emily's courage will inspire others to stand against the injustice. He can sense the shift in the atmosphere, the collective realization among the diners that this isn't just a simple conflict between a waitress and a customer, it's a battle for dignity and respect. As Madison prepares to respond, her expression hardens once again. "You think you can talk back to me? You'll regret that." She spits, her voice laced with venom. The threat hangs in the air, and Emily's resolve strengthens. She knows this isn't just about her, it's about everyone who has ever been belittled or disrespected. In the midst of this charged environment, the question arises, will Emily continue to stand her ground, or will she let Madison's words push her back into silence? The stakes are high, and the outcome of this confrontation could resonate far beyond the walls of the restaurant. As the tension builds, if you believe in fighting for what's right, share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to subscribe to Change Weavers for more inspiring stories. The restaurant buzzes with an air of anticipation as the tension between Emily and Madison reaches a boiling point. Madison, fueled by a sense of entitlement, stands her ground, her anger palpable. The patrons watch in silence, the weight of the moment hanging heavily in the air. Emily feels a surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins, and she knows this is the moment to either back down or assert her dignity. "Regret what?" "Speaking up for myself," Emily replies, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. "You're the one who needs to reevaluate how you treat others." The room seems to hold its breath, as her words hang in the air, a challenge to Madison's authority. Madison's expression shifts from surprise to fury, and she steps closer to Emily, invading her personal space. "You're just a waitress," she hisses, her voice low and dangerous. "You think you can talk to me like that? I could have you fired with a snap of my fingers." The threat is clear, and Emily feels her heart race, but she stands firm, refusing to let fear dictate her actions. Around them, the other diners are drawn into the drama unfolding before them. Some lean forward in their seats, eager to witness the confrontation, while others exchange worried glances, unsure of how this will end. Jason, still standing nearby, can feel the tension in the air, and he steps closer to Emily, ready to support her if needed. "Madison, you really don't have to act like this," Jason interjects, his voice calm yet firm. "No one deserves to be treated this way, especially someone who is working hard to make a living. You're crossing a line. His words resonate with the other diners, and a few nod in agreement, voicing their silent support for Emily. Madison, however, is undeterred by Jason's words. "Stay out of this," she snaps, her eyes narrowing at him. "This is between me and her." The disdain in her voice is evident, but Jason doesn't waver. He knows that standing up for Emily is the right thing to do, regardless of Madison's entitlement. With the atmosphere thick with tension, Emily feels a mix of anger and determination. She understands that Madison's threats are meant to intimidate her, but she refuses to be a victim any longer. "I'm not afraid of you," Emily says, her voice rising slightly. "I deserve to be treated with respect, and I'm not going to let you bully me into silence." The weight of her words hangs in the air, and the onlookers can sense the shift in dynamics. Many are now rooting for Emily, recognizing her bravery in the face of adversity. Sarah, the mother with her children, whispers to them, "Always stand up for yourself and others, even when it's tough. You never know who might be watching." In the midst of the confrontation, Madison's frustration boils over. "You think you can just stand there and talk to me like an equal? You're just a servant," she shouts, her voice echoing through the restaurant. The patrons around them exchange looks of disbelief. They can't believe the level of disrespect being displayed. Emily takes a deep breath, her heart pounding, but she knows she must respond. "Being a waitress doesn't make me less than you. I work hard for what I have, and I'm proud of it. Maybe if you took a moment to consider how your words affect others, you wouldn't act this way." Madison's face flushes with anger, but Emily's resolve only strengthens. For the first time, she feels empowered, standing up not just for herself, but for anyone who has ever faced similar disrespect. The restaurant is silent, all eyes on the two women as they stand in this high-stakes standoff. Just then, the tension escalates further when Madison, in a fit of rage, raises her hand and delivers a sharp slap across Emily's face. The sound resonates like a thunderclap in the otherwise quiet room, and gasps echo from the onlookers. Emily staggers back slightly, stunned by the sudden violence. The shock on her face quickly transforms into a fierce determination. She refuses to let this act of aggression define her. Without hesitation, Emily retaliates. In a swift motion, she raises her hand and slaps Madison back, the impact ringing through the restaurant. Gasps fill the air once more, and the silence is palpable as the reality of the situation sinks in. Both women stand there, breathing heavily, the shock of their actions hanging in the air like a thick fog. Madison stares at Emily, her eyes wide with disbelief.
"You dared to hit me?"
She breathes, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and surprise. The collective gasp from the patrons transforms into murmurs of disbelief and support for Emily. Jason takes a step forward, sensing the need to defuse the situation. "This has gone too far," he states firmly. "You both need to step back. No one should be treated this way." His words resonate with the onlookers, many of whom nod in agreement, their expressions reflecting a newfound solidarity with Emily. In the wake of the confrontation, the restaurant feels charged with energy. The diners, once passive observers, are now engaged in the unfolding drama, their collective support for Emily palpable. Madison, realizing she has lost wall of the situation, begins to retreat, her bravado fading. As the atmosphere shifts, Emily stands tall, a newfound strength radiating from her. She has taken a stand not only for herself, but for everyone who has faced similar disrespect. The moment may have escalated into chaos, but it has also sparked a powerful message about the importance of standing up for one's dignity. In this charged environment, if you believe in the power of standing up against injustice, share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to subscribe to Change Weavers for more inspiring stories that highlight the strength of the human spirit. In the aftermath of the confrontation, the restaurant buzzes with a mix of shock and admiration. Emily stands firm, her resolve unshaken despite the heated exchange with Madison. Around her, the patrons begin to find their voices murmuring amongst themselves, some expressing disbelief at Madison's behavior, while others nod approvingly at Emily's courage. Jason remains by Emily's side, offering a reassuring presence. He's impressed by her bravery and feels compelled to ensure she doesn't face any further mistreatment. "You handled that with incredible strength," he tells her, his voice filled with genuine admiration. Emily offers a small, grateful smile, the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. As Madison retreats to her table, visibly rattled, the onlookers' focus shifts. Among them is Kylie, a social media influencer who has been quietly documenting the incident on her phone. Recognizing the significance of what she's witnessed, she quickly taps out a tweet: "Witnessed a waitress stand up against horrendous treatment today. We need more Emilies in the world. Respect everyone." Within moments, her post begins to gain traction, sparking a conversation online about respect and dignity in the workplace. Meanwhile, Sarah, the mother dining with her children, takes this opportunity to impart a valuable lesson to them. "You see, standing up for yourself is important," she explains softly, her gaze shifting between Emily and her kids. "It's not always easy, but it's necessary." Her children nod thoughtfully, processing the real-world example they've just observed. As the evening progresses, more patrons begin to voice their support for Emily. A couple at a nearby table, who had been initially shocked by the confrontation, now feel emboldened to speak up. "We're with you, Emily," the man calls out, his voice echoing through the restaurant. "No one should have to put up with that kind of treatment." His partner nods in agreement, offering Emily an encouraging smile. The solidarity from the diners creates a ripple effect, and soon, the restaurant is filled with a sense of camaraderie and unity. People who had been strangers mere moments ago find themselves united in their support for Emily's stand against injustice. It's a powerful moment, one that underscores the collective desire for respect and fairness in all walks of life. In the midst of this newfound support, Emily feels a sense of empowerment she hadn't expected. She's not alone in this fight. The patrons' voices, both in the restaurant and online, bolster her confidence and reaffirm her decision to stand up for herself. It's a reminder that her actions, though initially driven by a personal sense of dignity, have resonated with many others. As the night winds down, the restaurant staff gathers around Emily, offering their own words of encouragement. Her colleagues, who have witnessed the incident with a mixture of apprehension and pride, express their admiration. "You did the right thing, Emily," one of her coworkers tells her, a supportive hand on her shoulder. "We're proud of you for not backing down." Emily's cousin, the owner of the restaurant, joins the group, his expression a mixture of concern and pride. "I heard what happened," he says, his voice steady. "You stood your ground, and you showed incredible courage. We've got your back." His words provide a sense of relief, and Emily feels the weight of the evening's events begin to lift. Meanwhile, Madison, now feeling the weight of the collective disapproval, finds herself isolated. Her friends, who had initially laughed along with her, now seem uncertain, casting glances around the room as they gauge the shifting settings. Madison's previous confidence has waned, and the reality of her actions begins to sink in. Kylie's tweet continues to gain momentum, with more and more people chiming in to share their thoughts on the incident. The conversation expands beyond the confines of the restaurant, tapping into a broader discussion about the importance of treating service workers with respect. Emily's story becomes a beacon of hope for many who have faced similar situations, a reminder that standing up for oneself can inspire change. As the evening draws to a close, Emily takes a moment to reflect on everything that has transpired. The support she's received from both familiar faces and strangers has been overwhelming, and she feels a renewed sense of purpose. She's more determined than ever to pursue her dreams, knowing that she's capable of facing any challenge with grace and strength. The events of the night have not only highlighted the importance of mutual respect, but have also demonstrated the power of community support. Emily's stand against Madison's treatment has sparked a dialogue that extends far beyond the restaurant's walls, leaving a lasting impact on everyone involved. If you believe in the power of standing together and supporting one another, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Change Weavers for more stories that celebrate resilience and the human spirit. The ripple effects of the confrontation at the restaurant quickly spread, capturing the attention of the local community and, thanks to Kylie's viral tweet, reaching many online. What was initially a personal conflict between Emily and Madison transformed into a larger conversation about respect and dignity in the workplace. However, the situation took a dramatic turn when Madison decided to escalate the issue by filing a lawsuit against Emily for harassment. Days after the incident, Emily received the official documents notifying her of the lawsuit. The shock and disbelief washed over her as she read through the claims Madison had made. Madison was portraying herself as the victim, claiming that Emily had attacked her without provocation. It was a blatant distortion of the truth, and Emily felt a mix of anger and frustration. How could Madison twist the narrative so easily? As the news of the lawsuit spread, Emily found herself at the center of a media storm. Supporters rallied around her, many expressing their outrage at Madison's actions. Emily's friends and coworkers offered their unwavering support, encouraging her to stand firm in her truth. They reminded her that she had done nothing wrong and that the community was behind her. Emily's cousin, the owner of the restaurant, decided to help her navigate the legal proceedings. "We'll get you a good lawyer," he assured her, his expression serious. "You deserve to have your side of the story heard." His determination to support her gave Emily hope, and she felt grateful to have someone who believed in her. The day of the court hearing arrived, and Emily walked into the courthouse feeling a mixture of anxiety and determination. The atmosphere was charged with tension as people gathered to hear the case. Representatives from the media were present, eager to document the unfolding drama. Emily could feel the weight of their gazes, but she focused on the support she had received from her friends and family. As the proceedings began, Madison entered the courtroom, her demeanor projecting confidence. She was dressed impeccably, as if her appearance alone could sway the judge in her favor. Emily, on the other hand, chose to wear a simple but elegant outfit, embodying sincerity and strength. The judge, a respected figure known for his fairness, took his seat and called the court to order. Madison's lawyer stood first, painting a picture of Emily as an aggressive waitress who had lashed out without cause. He recounted the events of that night, exaggerating Madison's injuries and portraying her as a victim. Emily listened intently, her heart racing as she heard the lies being told about her. When it was Emily's turn to testify, she took a deep breath and stepped forward. She recounted the events of the night with clarity and conviction, detailing Madison's rude behavior and the escalating tension that led to the confrontation. "I never intended to harm Madison," she explained, her voice steady. "I was simply standing up for myself after being disrespected. No one deserves to be treated that way." As she spoke, she could see the judge paying close attention, his expression thoughtful. Emily's testimony resonated with the audience in the courtroom, and she could sense their support growing. She felt empowered, knowing that she was sharing her truth and standing up for herself in front of the judge and everyone present. After Emily's testimony, Jason was called to the stand. He had witnessed the entire incident unfold and was eager to share his account. "I was sitting close to their table when everything happened," he began. "I saw Madison treat Emily with complete disrespect. When Madison slapped Emily, I was shocked. Emily only reacted in defense of herself. No one should have to endure that kind of treatment." As Jason spoke, the courtroom fell silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. His testimony painted a clear picture of the events, shedding light on the reality of the situation. The judge nodded, taking notes as he listened intently. Next, several other witnesses were called to testify, including Sarah, the mother who had been dining with her children. She shared her perspective, discussing how she had seen Madison's rudeness and how Emily had merely defended herself. "It was clear to me that Emily was not the aggressor," she stated firmly. "She was treated unfairly, and I admire her for standing up for herself." With each testimony, the tide began to turn in Emily's favor. The judge listened carefully, and it became increasingly evident that Madison's claims were unfounded. As the proceedings continued, it was clear that the community's support for Emily was having an impact. As the hearing came to a close, the judge announced that he would take time to deliberate before delivering his verdict. The uncertainty hung in the air, and Emily felt a mix of hope and anxiety. She had shared her hurt, and now, all she could do was wait. In the days that followed, the conversation around the case continued to evolve. Supporters rallied around Emily, sharing her story on social media and expressing their outrage at the way Madison had tried to manipulate the situation. The public's response was overwhelmingly in Emily's favor, and she felt a sense of solidarity from the community. If you believe that standing up for what's right matters, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Change Weavers for more inspiring stories that highlight the importance of justice and community support. The day of the verdict arrived, and the atmosphere in the courtroom was thick with anticipation. Emily sat nervously beside her lawyer, her heart racing as she waited for the judge to announce his decision. The courtroom was filled with supporters, including friends, co-workers, and even some patrons from the restaurant who had witnessed the confrontation. Their presence provided Emily with a sense of comfort, reminding her that she was not alone in this fight. As the judge entered the room, a hush fell over the crowd. He took his seat and adjusted his glasses, glancing at the notes before him. Emily could feel the weight of his gaze, and she held her breath, hoping for a favorable outcome. The entire experience had been a roller coaster of emotions, and she desperately wanted her story to be heard and validated. After careful consideration of the evidence presented in this case, the judge began, his voice steady and authoritative. "I find that the defendant, Emily Thompson, acted in self-defense during the incident that occurred at the restaurant." A wave of relief washed over Emily as she processed the judge's words. The validation she had longed for was finally here. The judge continued, addressing Madison directly. "Your claims of harassment are unfounded. It is evident from the testimonies of multiple witnesses that you instigated the confrontation and displayed a pattern of disrespect towards the plaintiff." Emily felt a surge of hope and gratitude as she listened to the judge's remarks, knowing that the truth had prevailed. Madison's face flushed with anger and humiliation, her expression a mixture of disbelief and fury. She had come into the courtroom confident that her wealth and status would protect her, but now she was confronted with the reality of her actions. The judge's words were not just a legal victory for Emily, they were a public acknowledgement of the importance of treating others with respect, regardless of their position. Furthermore, the judge continued, "I am imposing a penalty for defamation, as it is clear that you attempted to manipulate the narrative and damage Ms. Thompson's reputation. This type of behavior cannot be tolerated." The judge's firm stance sent a clear message underscoring the importance of accountability for one's actions. As the ruling sank in, a wave of applause erupted from the audience. Emily's supporters cheered, their voices ringing with joy and relief. Tears of happiness filled Emily's eyes as she embraced her lawyer, overwhelmed by the sueur she had received throughout this ordeal. This moment was not just a personal victory for her, it was a triumph for everyone who had experienced disrespect and mistreatment. Madison, visibly shaken, gathered her belongings and stormed out of the courtroom, her arrogance crumbling with every step. She had come to the court expecting to assert her dominance, but instead, she had faced the consequences of her actions. Emily watched her leave, feeling a sense of closure. The encounter had been painful, but it had also ignited a fire within her to advocate for herself and others. In the days that followed, Emily's story spread far and wide, igniting conversations about respect, equality, and the importance of standing up against injustice. News outlets picked up the story, and Emily became a symbol of resilience and empowerment. She received messages of support from individuals across the country, many sharing their own experiences of standing up against disrespect. Emily decided to use her newfound platform to advocate for service workers everywhere. She began speaking at community events and sharing her story in various forums, emphasizing the importance of treating everyone with dignity and respect. Through her advocacy, she aimed to inspire others to stand up for themselves and challenge the status quo. As she reflected on her journey, Emily realized that this experience had changed her in profound ways. She had discovered her own strength and resilience, realizing that she was capable of overcoming even the most challenging situations. The support from her community had been invaluable, teaching her the importance of solidarity and standing up for one another. Emily's story also prompted discussions about the treatment of service workers in various industries. Many individuals began to question their own behaviors and attitudes towards those who serve them. Restaurants and businesses started implementing training programs focused on respect and empathy, fostering a culture of appreciation for the hard work of service employees. In the end, the courtroom verdict was more than just a legal decision. It was a powerful reminder that every individual deserves to be treated with respect regardless of their job or background. Emily's courage to stand up for herself had sparked a movement, one that encouraged others to speak out against disrespect and inequality. As Emily continued her advocacy work, she remained grateful for the support she had received during her journey. If you believe in the power of standing up for what's right and fostering a culture of respect, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Change Weavers for more inspiring stories about resilience and the fight for justice. After the courtroom drama had settled, Emily found herself at the center of a whirlwind of positive change. The verdict had not only vindicated her actions, but also sparked a renewed awareness about respect and dignity in the workplace. The support she received from her community and beyond had been overwhelming, and Emily was determined to use her experience to make a lasting difference. Returning to work at the restaurant, Emily was greeted with applause and cheers from her co-workers. They had watched her stand tall in the face of adversity and were proud to have her as part of their team. Her cousin, the owner, met her with a warm hug. "You did something incredible, Emily. You've shown everyone what courage looks like," he said, his eyes filled with pride. Emily felt a profound sense of accomplishment as she resumed her duties with a newfound sense of purpose. The restaurant, once merely a place of employment, had become a symbol of her resilience and the community's support. She moved through her shifts with confidence, her interactions with customers now enriched by the knowledge that she had made a difference. The impact of Emily's story extended far beyond the restaurant walls. Inspired by her courage, other service workers began sharing their own stories of resilience and standing up against mistreatment. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions about the importance of respect in all areas of life, and Emily's story became a rallying cry for change. Her victory in court had set a precedent, prompting businesses to reevaluate their training programs. Many restaurants and service-oriented companies introduced workshops focused on empathy and respectful communication, aiming to foster a culture that valued every employee's contribution. Emily was invited to speak at several of these workshops, where she shared her journey and encouraged others to find their voice. In the months following the trial, Emily became an advocate for service workers' rights. She collaborated with local organizations to develop initiatives aimed at improving working conditions and ensuring fair treatment for all employees. Her efforts were met with enthusiasm and support, and she quickly became a prominent voice in the movement for workplace equality. As she engaged with various communities and organizations, Emily reflected on the power of solidarity and how it had shaped her journey. The support she received from friends, coworkers, and even strangers had been instrumental in her fight for justice. It reinforced her belief that change was possible when people came together to stand up for what was right. One afternoon, as Emily was finishing her shift, she noticed a familiar face entering the restaurant. It was Jason, the tourist, who had supported her during the confrontation with Madison. He approached her with a warm smile. "I just wanted to say thank you for standing up that day. You've inspired a lot of people, including me," he said, extending a hand in greeting. Emily shook his hand, gratitude evident in her eyes. "Thank you for speaking up. It meant a lot to have someone stand by me," she replied, her voice filled with sincerity. Their conversation reminded Emily of the impact that a single act of kindness and courage could have on others. As she continued her advocacy work, Emily remained committed to creating a positive impact. She launched a blog where she shared stories of resilience and hope, providing a platform for others to share their experiences and find support. The blog quickly gained a following, becoming a community of individuals dedicated to fostering respect and empathy in all aspects of life. Emily's journey also prompted introspection among those who had witnessed the events unfold. Many patrons who frequented the restaurant took the opportunity to reflect on their own behavior and attitudes towards service workers. Conversations about empathy and respect became more common, and a shift in perspective began to take root. Throughout it all, Emily remained humble. acknowledging that her journey was part of a larger movement towards justice and equality. She continued to work at the restaurant, her interactions with customers now infused with a deeper understanding of human connection. Her story served as a testament to the power of standing up for oneself and the ripple effects it could create. In the end, Emily's experience was not just about a single courtroom victory. It was about the lasting change that could be achieved when individuals stood together for what was right. Her story inspired countless others to find their voice and take a stand against injustice, proving that one person's courage could indeed make a difference. If you believe in the transformative power of resilience and community support, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Change Weavers for more stories that celebrate the strength of the human spirit and the pursuit of justice.